Hi guys, Chris Ashford from Beyond the Banter. I don't normally do this, but I wanted to jump in and say a few words before we release today's episode. Um, Sarah, who is a guest on today's episode, is a friend of mine. She's a close friend of mine. Me and Sarah go back 15 years, 20 years. We've worked together. We've been to football matches together. We've had a social life together. She's just an absolute true legend. And when we were filming this, I didn't know half the battles that Sarah went into, which is an eye opener. So I just wanted to record this to say, Sarah, that you're a very, very close mate of mine, and you're one that I would trust with my kids. So yeah, I want you to enjoy this, and I hope that it gives you the message that you wanted it to come out with by the end of this episode. Enjoy the episode, guys. Sorry, little lady, for stealing the app. Bye.
Hello and welcome to Beauty Beyond the Banter podcast, hosted by Jazz. Here are some important numbers that you may need in future. If you're in immediate help, please stop and call 000. Do you need someone to help and talk to right now? You can contact any of these following numbers: Lifeline 13 11 14, Beyond Blue 1300 22 4636, or you can go to www.beyondblue.org.au. Suicide callback service is 1300 659 467. If you have a child that needs a friend to talk to, please contact Kids Helpline 1800 55 1800. Alternately, you can go to www.kidshelpline.com.au. Also, for them men out there, remember, it's not weak to speak. The crisis number for men is Men's Line Australia 1300 789 978. We would also like to pay respects to the original custodians and owners of this land and pay respects to their past and present elders. We hope you enjoy this podcast. Thank you. And remember, it's a bad day, not a bad life.
Beyond the banter, beyond the banter, we'll find the answer.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Beauty Beyond the Banter. We have got episode number 4. How exciting. I hope you all enjoyed Shaq's story in the last episode. And again, thank you so much for opening up to us and, and the tattoo. Not bad, good size. Tonight, obviously, you got myself, which is your host, Jazz, as well as
Shaq.
my beautiful co-host. Tonight we are going to be talking to another beautiful ambassador and member of our production crew, Miss Sass. But before I do, I just wanted to let everyone know that tonight's episode will be based around being queer and a Christian, and the effects that that's had on Sass in her life, as well as coming out and streaming journey. So if at any point you are triggered or upset by anything that is said in this episode, we urge for you to just turn it off, and we'll see you on the next one. Again, if you are upset by anything, your discovery or your emotions, please contact Lifeline on 13 11 14, or reach out to our crew at www.beyondthebanter.org. With that said, we appreciate you being here and your time. And now I would like to introduce Sass, who, of course, is part of our production and ambassador crew and team here on Beauty Beyond the Banter. And I'm going to hand it over to you. Let's go.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
worries.
It's good to see you again. Yeah, so a little bit of background about myself. I grew up in a Christian home. Yep, went to a Christian school. I think I realized at a very early age that I liked women, that I was gay. But the teachings of Christian, the Christian teachings was just like, it's not something that you do, right?
Yep.
It's wrong. It's sinful. So I battled with that a lot. Not in primary school as much. In primary school, I was the tomboy. I would play with the boys. I just thought, oh yeah, I just like boy things, whatever. But once I got to high school, that's when the hormones start. You start looking at guys or girls.
Yeah.
And that was
Girl,
when I
you're
was kind of like,
fine.
yeah. And that was when I was like, no, I think I really dig chicks. But just kept pushing it down, pushing it away.
Yep.
And I struggled with stuff. And look, I'll be honest, yeah, there were times there that I did have suicidal thoughts. It absolutely affected me. And yeah, so I didn't end up coming out until I was 22, I think it was.
Yep.
It was a very long time of me battling with that Christian message in my head, and I was so scared to tell my parents as well because they're still Christians to this day. So
Yep.
yeah, but when I did, my mum was like, yeah, I kind of always knew. And I thought, if you knew, why didn't you talk to me about it? Like, that would have just been so good if she had just said, hey, Sarah, like, do you think that maybe you like girls, or do you think that maybe that you don't like guys as much as you when you date? It would have been really good if I had that kind of support then.
Absolutely.
And so, like, I know that for me, I want to make sure that for people that I come into contact, that I feel like there might be something like that. And like with my son, I want to have that conversation with him because I want to make sure that he feels comfortable in who he is. And I think things are changing, like, these days. When I was growing up, you know, when I was in high school, it was in the late 90s.
Yeah.
So it was very different back then. These days, I think
absolutely
that hopefully there's
even more so
support.
in the 80s when we were around, you know. It's it is a hard conversation though, I think, especially with young children. And I think the whole stigma based around humans in general and what they want to be, what they want to like, you know. And it's almost like, well, I feel from my perception, it's if you teach your children about, you know, being gay, lesbian, transgender or whatnot, it's almost like people are like, well, you're making them that way. Or, you know, it's like you're encouraging them. And it's like people don't understand, like, you don't actually have a choice. You know, you're born away. And, you know, why wouldn't we explain to our children what all of these words mean? Because that could help with so much, you know, early childhood trauma, depression, you know, I guess identity crisis within children as well, which will affect their learning as well as their, I guess, just their attitude towards life if they're trying to suppress something because they have not been taught about it, you know. So it's good that, I guess, the world's forthcoming and trying to change that stigma, but of course there still is, and which you still in the 90s, like not even that long ago, still had that fear of not being able to speak, which it sounds like your mum also like wasn't quite like, let's have a yak about that, you know, which, you know.
Yeah. I think she had stuff that she still needed to process as well, I guess, because she would have had to talk to people within the church about her daughter. And it probably took her a while to come around to it as well. I think when it happened, she ended up writing me a letter about it because it was hard for her.
Yeah.
My dad was pretty cool. My dad was kind of like, yeah, it's just going to be weird because now when I'm checking out women, so will you. my parents aren't together anymore.
Exactly.
So yeah,
the wingman we always wanted.
It's a process for parents as well, because it's, especially your mum being in that sort of a community, who can I talk to and who can I vent to, who can I get advice to? And the stigma around parents thinking, well, if our children are gay or trans or anything, future grandchildren. It's educating them as well, knowing that there is IVF and like all different other resources out there that can still give you the family.
Definitely.
Blood does not make you family.
Yeah. And I guess church as well, you know, like being in a Christian household, like I myself was raised Christian. And it's the old saying, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. And like it is absolutely pelted into you, as it was us as children, you know, that there's one way, you know, like, and it's man and woman. And, you know, although we had our own kind of thoughts, like you wouldn't really say anything about it. And like being born in the 80s, you didn't speak about that kind of stuff, you know, and it's horrible, you know.
It still kind of sucks that lingo, that saying you just said, is still
literally used today.
To this day.
It is. It is. And but actually it was really good. I had a conversation with my mum the other day, and like there's been so much growth there, and it's fantastic. Like she's so supportive now. But like late last year I broke up with my partner of 8 years. The one that I have a son with, which it was IVF, by the way, and it was my egg. So even though I didn't birth
They're your
him,
baby.
so it's mine. So my family kind of were like, oh, we still did end up getting like a family member. So like that's what's like
Within
IVF's
saying that
awesome, but
also,
that's another story.
Within saying that also, you know, like IVF, it's beautiful for, of course, people of the same sex to be able to birth a child together with both DNA, but it's an important thing also for all those carers and foster parents and step parents as well, that, you know, blood and DNA does not always define you as a parent. You know, it's although I'm so happy for you guys that you can have that little bub together. But, you know, I think also in saying that we need to support and appreciate those non-biological parents that have in some cases stood up where the biological parent didn't, and taken that role and been more of a parental figure, I guess, in someone's life. So
Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I broke up with that partner of 8 years last year, and my mum was talking to me about it, and like talking to me about love and relationships, and she said, you know, I do recognize that, you know, you guys were in love, or that you can love a woman, because she at that stage she said, do you think you would go to another woman? I was like, well, yeah. And I said, Mum, do you think that God is a woman or that God is a man? And she said, no, that God has no sex. I said, yeah. I said, it's the same. I said, we're just souls. We're just people.
beings.
So that I said, we get assigned a body when we're down here on earth. I said, but if we're all just like spirits or souls, I said, it doesn't matter what sex we are, we can be in love. And she said, I agree. And that for me, I was like, oh, Mum.
Love is love.
I loved that.
Love
That's
is
also
love.
reassurance for you and validation for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
well.
it was. It was
That's
a good
why it would have been
moment.
so big for you, for the validation of it's clicking, that light bulb's going off.
Yeah.
And having that support too in a family situation, you know, whereas a lot of people do not have that kind of support, you know, it's one way thinking. I think that's really endearing, you know, and for your child also to be in a family that is so supportive no matter what they choose, you know. I think that's, for you, it must be, I guess, in a way, a relief of knowing that that's one thing in your child's life that you can not have to worry about, you know, if they do choose to be who they want to be, you know, that's not the public's can like idea of normal, which is ridiculous that people can even relate that to something like that. But that must be like a weight lifted, I guess, which again is stupid that it should be a weight lifted off you. You know, for that.
And like, so it's like I've done years of work on my family and myself that now my son doesn't have to worry. It's exactly what you said, because when I was going through high school till I was in my, maybe got to my 30s, you know, because I came out at 22. So there was a good 8 years there where there was a struggle, and there was a struggle throughout high school of just knowing who I was and having family accept that. And yeah, what you say there is right. Like, my son doesn't ever have to worry about that. Hopefully, he's going to be accepted. So
that's the mum there.
Yeah. And when you say like weight lifted off your shoulders, it took me back to like, there was this moment I remember, like when I didn't come out. I asked my sister to come out with me and my friends in Newtown. Yeah. And she met all my friends, and they were all like razor hair and like clearly lesbians. And I remember when we got back into the car, my sister was like, she looked down and she was like, Sarah, are you gay? And I was just like,
surprise.
And it was weight lifted off my shoulders. It was like, I didn't even realize how heavy it felt until I had come out. And I was like, wow, there was this burden that I've been carrying most of my life. And I didn't realize until I had finally come out to my sister that I was like, I don't have to hide anymore. I am who I am. I love who I want to love. And yeah, it was massive.
Oh, crikey, it just nearly ripped my ear off. The bloopers. That's awesome. Like, I think, yeah, that's really, really good to have that support and finally that release, and
It's
having
a
someone to
revelation.
talk to, it's almost like, were you ever like, gosh, why didn't I do that years ago?
Yep. I was so
Yeah.
in love with this so there was this girl in high school when I was in year 9, and that was when I started writing poetry, and we used to write poetry. She would write poetry, I'd write poetry. And I was so in love with her, and I never did anything about it.
Mhm.
And like I told her I told her after high school, it turned out that she was bi, and she had also had a relationship with someone else, like another girl.
Rats.
And I was like, it could have been me. It could have been me. But,
so would you say there
and I was like, why didn't I do it? Why didn't I do it?
There's someone right now watching this that, is hiding who they are, because of what they think the world's going to perceive them as, or their family is going to think of them. What would be your advice to someone that's watching right this second about choosing whether they want to come out or not?
I would say absolutely, but talk to someone, like someone that you would trust, and someone that's either in the LGBTQIA plus community, or someone that they know that could be in that community, and talk to them about it.
Have that support person before.
Yeah.
Make sure it's also
you've got to have
someone in a safe space as well, because not everyone has come out because they're not in a safe space. So if you're not feeling safe within yourself and your surroundings, then go come out to people where you do feel safe and you can be your authentic self.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
it's little by little.
Safe.
Would you recommend, maybe like the way that a letter was written, would you recommend those that potentially could find themselves in maybe a distressing situation or someone that's not really understanding, would you maybe suggest to them, instead of vocalizing it, maybe writing a letter to, say, their parents or their sibling or family or whatnot, and handing it to them instead of vocalizing it? Do you think maybe that could be something?
If it's not a safe space, then it probably would be a good idea, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where there could be verbal abuse, because it would make it absolutely worse.
Absolutely.
I think definitely, like from my experience, when I first came out, I was playing rugby league. And I was playing rugby league with a group of gay women. And they were my support network, because I had never spoken to anyone about it. And I was just like, oh, these girls are gay. I feel safe here. And I talked to them about it, and I went out with them to, I think it was some pub in Newtown. And that was when I was just like, whoa, there's this world out here of people that are like me. And I'd never been like that before. And slowly, that's when I finally came out to my sister. So my advice would be find some people, find your people. They'll be your support network, and then that will help you. That will help you on your journey.
Do you know, do you have any, either of you actually, she's like, oh, what? Do you guys know of any, I guess, hotlines or support groups or phone numbers or organizations that specifically help people of the LGBTQIA plus community with their coming out journey? I guess if they don't have in their lives, they don't have a support person, or they don't have a group of friends or someone they could trust to be there to help them through that. Is that something that's around? Or
so there's a big corporation. It's a the Trevor Project.
Okay, and what's that?
So the Trevor Project, it's like for the all LGBTQIA plus trans community. They've got people that you can talk to 24/7. It goes about mental health. You can go on the website and have a look at things about gender identity. It's a really good resource. It's a global resource. So
you know that website? If not, we can link it at the end of this.
Yeah, let me have a
recording.
look.
And for those watching, we will link all resources and phone numbers at the end of the podcast for you too, so that you have that at your hand.
Yeah. So it's the trevorproject.org.
Awesome. So
yeah,
I think that's amazing.
And you can text, there's a text number and a call number, but because it's international, it might, I'm not sure if it works in Australia. It might be better just to use the 24/7 chat on the website. Website. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. And if you do not have access to obviously a computer or device that can access that website, maybe try contact a friend, I guess, to get in touch with them for you on your behalf.
Libraries as well. Libraries have computer access, internet access as well.
Or IT, you got IT cafes. And if you are not in a safe space where you can physically look up websites like that, I'm aware of some people that I'm friends with who history is looked at on your computer, which is a real thing. You know, their history and everything is looked at and monitored, and sometimes it's not safe for you to be able to look up a website such as that, which is horrible. So I urge for you guys to either go to a library, internet cafe, or ask if a friend or someone you can trust could look that up on your behalf and maybe get in touch with them safely.
I also found that TikTok is also a good place for people, even in the older community as well. I think I recall me on my platform last year helped a woman. She just kind of came in, started watching my lives, discovered this is who I am, this is where I belong, and this is how I want to be. She was married to a man with children, and we gave her a safe space to talk to come out. She came out for the first time on my live.
That's awesome.
And she's now living within a couple of months. She came out to her husband. They co-parent really well, and she is with the love of her life, which is a woman, and she forever comes in and goes, it wasn't for you. And then she started going live and spreading more awareness, and that can have a ripple effect as well. Now she has her own safe space and own community on her lives on just TikTok, and she's opening it up for so many more people to come out.
I love that's amazing. Good on you and good on her.
That made me be proud of who I am and what I do on TikTok. That was a defining moment for me.
That's amazing. And I think sometimes it does happen late in life. I know so many people who were just, you know, in your typical man, woman, babies, white picket fence, and, you know, never even kissed a girl or whatnot. And then 50 years old, a close friend of mine, she's like, I don't like men, I like women.
Who doesn't?
She did. Like, the thing is, like, she'd never even thought about it that way. You know what I meant? Like, it was just like one day she was like, oh, okay. You know, like it's maybe, okay, yeah, that probably makes sense, you know? And yeah, I guess it doesn't discriminate on age or anyone, you know, it's love is love.
Yeah, I have so I do, I stream on Twitch and I have the same sort of thing. So I've got LGBTQIA plus tags on my streams, and I have people that can come in, and it's a safe space to have a chat.
Want to give it a plug?
Because it's Sarah Sassy Pants.
Beautiful.
On Twitch. So awesome. Yeah, like when I've had a lot from the trans community come in, and sometimes people just want to have a chat, and like search history, you're not going to be able to see anything weird with that, right? If someone's on a Twitch on a Twitch stream,
absolutely,
you're not going to know that
different ways
talking to somebody who is gay, right?
Exactly.
So
can we get that name one more time, you know, just in case there is one person out here, you never know, that might be like, oh, maybe you could be my safe space and maybe you could help them through their journey. So it was
Sarah Sassy Pants on Twitch.
And we'll make sure that we link that at the end also, guys, for you. The same as you got Shaq _5.0 on TikTok. And obviously myself, XXX, little lady XXX, and it means kiss, 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 not spicy.
Didn't even think of that.
Why not both?
Everyone thinks. No, I'm not spicy. Okay, I'm like.
I thought it was kiss, kiss, kiss.
everyone's always like, oh, triple X, huh? And I'm like, no, I made it when I was like 15. And I'm like, because like hug, like you know how it's XO, kiss, hug.
Yeah.
The O little lady seemed weird. Like it looked weird. So
I feel like this was before OnlyFans, okay?
no, never. I got nothing against people. You know, everyone's got to hustle. But for me, I got 3 babies, and I don't need them seeing no pictures of their mum and the nut. Okay, that is traumatizing.
They came out of there. They don't want to relive it.
100%, you know, and I'm quite happy with my small business I have. So, you know, I'm gonna keep my clothes on. But you know, but full support to those that want to do what they want to do. It's also
a good thing with Twitch as well that you might have people of straight agenda that might be an ally, and they can get educated as well on how to approach people, pronouns. They might have siblings and they want to go, okay, I want to get a deeper like understanding. So
absolutely,
you know,
I've learned so much. I've learned so much.
Or even educating themselves, being part of the community as well, and not understanding like we did when we were younger. I did not know what gay was. I just thought I was meant to be a boy.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Well, one massive thing that I've learned over the last week, one massive thing that I've learned from the LGBTQIA plus community, and myself as predominantly I'm straight woman, and I have a boyfriend.
I like you say predominantly.
Most of us have had them like tequila Sunday, you know, they do. But that's a whole nother episode. But no, like, you know, I am head over heels with a straight man, straight woman, you know, and there's and that's is that what it is? See, cis. Is that what straight means? Cis?
No,
cis just means that you identify with the gender you're born with.
Oh yeah, cool. So would I be a cis woman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some cis woman, cis man. Oh, that sounds mean. Cis. What's
Not
up,
sick.
cis?
Not sick.
What's up, cis? No. So you know, one thing that I definitely wasn't aware of. Obviously, like I know my friends are either, you know, for me growing up Christian household and all that as well. It's like you got straight, gay. That's pretty much what you're taught, you know. But it's straight's okay, gay's not. Whereas now, obviously, there is so many more, I guess, names to identify people, you know, humans and what they like to be known as, you know, they, them, I, we, you know, so many different ones. But the one thing that I wasn't aware of was specifically with transgender people is that when they transition, well, I was told most often than not, they don't use their dead name. So that is what their birth name was before they transitioned. So it's actually quite offensive, apparently, to ask what their name used to be. And that's why it's called a dead name. So out of respect for anyone that's transitioned, you know, I think just don't ask that question. It is something that was brought to my attention, but it was actually brought to my attention in a really caring way, you know, and an informative way, you know. So, you know, keep that in mind. If you do know someone that has transitioned, you know, you might be curious, but that's just something I think out of respect that you should know not to do that, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that can be traumatizing, is that name is going to be associated with a time that they were unhappy with themselves. And so they don't want to be talking about that time. They don't want to be talking about that person.
Definitely. So now moving on, what do you do on Twitch? What's your main kind of drive on there?
So I just play games, mostly adventure games.
What's your favourite?
So horror games. I like playing horror games mostly because they scare the shit out of me and it makes me laugh and
like
it makes people laugh. And and I struggle. Like, I'm not a great gamer. I think most of the time it's just entertainment. It's mostly just me struggling to do things, and my friends who are on there will make fun of me and be like,
they're laughing.
Dude, yeah.
They're laughing.
You went around the corridor like 5 times in the same circle, and then I get a jump scare and I shit myself.
Yeah.
And
well, look, I think it's ironic that you play horror games because I'm horrible at games. I am definitely not horrible at jokes.
Yeah. And so
my kids love all the fork, knife, and you know, the
Fork knife.
the roadblocks and stuff, and what is it like that? I don't even know what that's from.
Dab?
No, it's like the fork knife or whatever. The
don't-
14 days.
Oh, okay.
Fortnite.
I don't
Right.
know.
Fortnite, 2 weeks. That game.
I thought there was. I only know of things like Pokemon or something.
I know. I think it's from like, I don't know,
I don't
Games
know-
of
I don't
Thrones
know
or
what it
something. I'm
is.
not sure. It's like a game
I
that you
don't-
can play.
I don't play those online games. Or,
well, they
apart
love
from
that.
Fall Guys. Fall Guys I play a little bit of.
I've known a few Fall
That's
Guys,
fine.
but
I've never fallen for girls. Is that what you said?
oh, might drop that one. Yeah, I can't really drop this one. It's quite big, but that's what she said. Well, not she, not her, but or her. Well, actually, maybe yes, but that's a whole other story. Skirt out. So moving along. So you like to play games and pretty much entertain people, which I love. You know, you got this very vibrant, bubbly, kind of charismatic vibe about you, you've got this very vibrant, charismatic, you know, aura about you, which I think is beautiful, and you know, radiate like that energy that's very welcoming, very inviting, and you know, very comforting. So, guys, I cannot urge you enough. You know, if you are in a place where you're unsure or you just need someone to hang out with, have a laugh with, make sure you go get on the Twitch with Sass, because you know, I'm thinking maybe I need to go get it.
Sarah Sass Pants in
Absolutely.
capitals.
Can I say, actually, the community, the Twitch community is amazing, and there are so many LGBTQIA allies out there, and like a lot of the guys that I talk to, that I've just met on Twitch, it's so good. They've done so on Twitch. People do like yearly, annual, like they'll do a birthday stream or a Twitch birthday stream, and then they will a lot of the time try and raise funds, and most of my Twitch friends have raised.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, there is constant learning, educating, and growing between you and your mum as well. It's a beautiful thing to see as well.
And your child too, like that's.
I was blessed enough to not have to come out to my mother or feel the need. It was just there. We didn't need to talk about it because we could be
until I made her last episode.
Correct. But my mum, we were not raised in that sort of a community. And, you know, for those that do have to feel like they come out and talk to their parents about it, and this is who I am, it's like, please love me, please accept me, which is incredibly scary. Like, I'm so proud of the people that do have to come out there and they do put themselves out there. You said when you did come out to your sister, it's like, whew, I wish I had done that earlier. But maybe it was the right time in the right atmosphere with the right knowledge out there for yourself and your sister. You put her in that environment to feel the waters and you didn't even know. And she did not chuck up any fuss, no nothing. She was comfortable and she was like, and you went, all right. She went, all right. And then you just kind of went, I'm gay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
You felt safe.
It's
Would
almost
you have
like
felt that a couple of years before that? No, maybe not. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think it was a perfect time for you where you were at in your life and an understanding within yourself as well.
And it's almost like it was the right time to do it. And that's why you did it. The same as, you know, it's when you're ready, you're ready. When you know, you know. And, you know, I think we shouldn't pressure people. We shouldn't force people. You know, if we do know someone that it has not come out in whichever way, shape or form and isn't comfortable to, please do not force or pressure someone to. I think people will express who they are and tell who they want when they are ready. It is their journey, it is their body, and it's their discovery, and we should be supportive. We should not be pushy with that. So just make sure they know that they are loved, they are wanted, they are needed, and they are appreciated, and that you're proud of them. And no matter when they do, just make sure you're there for them, and, you know, just be that hand to hold if things go south, but be the hand to high five when it goes good, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like there was something that I learned actually last year After I went through my breakup, I read a lot of books, personal development books. And one of the most important things that I read was that when somebody is going through something, it's not for you to try and solve their problems. They don't want to hear how to solve their problems unless they ask you, hey, how do you think that I should do this? Don't ever tell someone how to solve their problems. Just be there to listen to them. That's the most important thing, because people just sometimes they want to be heard.
Give them solutions, not answers. They'll find their own answers. You just got to give them a little bit of help if they want it.
Just listen. Just listen.
Listen, learn.
Safe space. It's a safe space to be able to talk and be vocal.
Yeah, give them somewhere to lean. They want to lean in, and you be there for them.
That was a really cute moment.
Yeah, it was. Do you want to hold hands and talk about feelings?
No.
Psych.
Yeah.
Just didn't have to go. No, just kidding. Moving on. Well, look, I really, really enjoyed that. I think
there's so many different avenues, and Twitch, I don't know. I'm not educated in that. And you've educated me that even I know now, I can go to a safe space on Twitch if I.
Yeah, if everyone on TikTok's been peanuts, we'll just jump over to the Twitch and we'll be like, they are really annoying us.
It's nice
to
to
get
see
a Twitch
and learn different avenues that some people aren't for TikTok or social media. They might be more gamers and feel more comfortable there, and they've got a place to go to.
Yeah, play real games, not head games on TikTok.
And if they're not interested in gaming, every couple of weeks I do I go on my friend's stream and I do cocktail sessions. So I used to be a bartender, and so I teach people how to make cocktails.
Wow, I think that you need to.
We're gonna get on
Twitch. We actually had an idea which we're not going to disclose in this episode, but we might need your assistance in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned, guys. It's going to be. I can assure you, it's going to be really good.
Interesting.
So, Sass, was there anything else that you wanted to, have a yak about or speak about, or just,
bring to our attention?
No, just to reiterate that there's always someone there for you. There's always going to be someone who will want to listen to you and help you. You're never alone, and you're loved.
Absolutely. And I think, even if you've tried to speak to 5, 10, 15 people and got knocked back 15 times, try that extra time, because you never know who will listen. I know it's hard and sometimes we feel so alone, but always remember that number to 13, 11, 14, as well as just reach out to someone. Try to start up a conversation. Ask, are you okay? Be prepared to answer that question and help someone through that question if you ask it also. Again,
you owe it to yourself never to give up on yourself.
Absolutely. We love to say, if you're having a bad day, remember, it's
a
bad day, not a bad life. I have been your host, Jazz. Thank you so much for listening and watching with Sass and my beautiful co-host. What's your name? Shaq.
Wow.
Psych. Just kidding.
Sass, as well, I'm incredibly proud of you, because you are a queen raising a king in this world, and we need more.
Absolutely.
More of that. We need more kings to be raised and be aware of themselves as well, and feel comfortable and confident within themselves. So he's very blessed with the best of a mama like you.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
And again, as a closing, anything that we have said or spoken about is from a personal life experience standpoint. We are not trained as medical or mental health professionals in any way, shape or form. If you do need any help, please make sure you reach out to that number 13 11 14 Lifeline. We will post the website that Sass did mention earlier also, which was
the Trevor Project.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah.
And please make sure that if you want to speak to someone, it doesn't matter where you're from, what you identify as, www.beyondthebanter.org. reach out, send that message, and just know that we're waiting, and we're here to talk to you if you ever need someone to chat to. And have a blessed morning, evening, or good night where you're from. Thank you. You're loved.